Hello ladies, in this video we're talking about the 5 qualities of wounded masculine energy men and how you can use these 5 qualities to quickly spot if you are with the wrong man. The kinds who try to control you, tell you what to wear, who to meet. Wrong men. Wounded masculine energy men. All right, so before we get started, just a quick reminder, if you are new to my channel, I would love to see you hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon so that every time we post amazing new content helping high achieving women find amazing love and keep amazing romantic relationships, you get a notification from us. And if you are already a subscriber in my channel, then welcome back, your family. Woohoo! All right, let's get started, ladies. What are the characteristics of wounded masculine energy men? Well, the first characteristic of wounded masculine energy men is that they tend to be pushy and aggressive in their energy, which means that they have a really hard time listening to your boundaries, your needs, and it's always about them. If they want to sleep quickly with you, they will want to push for sex. If they want you to drive to them and work hard and pursue them, then when you say that I would prefer you drive to me, they're gonna mock you. They're gonna say, oh, what about me? Don't you care about me? So they have this really boundary violating and aggressive energy about them. This is a really big red flag, because imagine spending the rest of your life with someone who just can't listen to your needs, who just can't respect your boundaries. It's going to be a nightmare, right? So when a man displays such signs early on in the dating process, you want to really be watchful against it. Okay, now quality number 2 of wounded masculine energy men is that they overgive and overdo, and then they get resentful around you. Okay, so healthy empowered men, they love to please women, they love to make their woman happy, they love to bring a smile on her face. But the man who is operating from his wounded masculine, he will give, but he will give with expectations in return. In other words, he will often quote the money he spent on your gifts or the money he spent on the dinners. He's going to try to make you feel guilty. He's going to try and make you feel obligated towards him. And he's going to try and get things out of you in return for what he has been doing for you. Now, this is wounded energy hardcore, because no empowered, healthy man gives to you to get something out of you. Okay, he gives to you because A, it makes him happy, and B, because it makes you happy. Now, quality number 3 of wounded masculine energy men is that they come on really strong and they love bomb you at the start, and they say all kinds of unnecessary things like, I will never cheat on you. I will always have your back. You can trust me. I will never hurt you. I will never let you down. Why would a man need to say these things to a woman early on in the relationship? I mean, you don't have to tell a woman in words, I will never abandon you, I will never cheat on you. Like, that's not even in the bandwidth, in the vibrational range of healthy men or even healthy women. I'm sure the women who are dating to look for healthy masculine energy partners are not dating with the fears of, oh my God, when is he going to abandon me? Or, oh my God, when is a man going to cheat on me? Right? Because nobody on the planet can guarantee you that they will never cheat on you. These are just really exaggerated, out of the blue, over proportionate promises that people can't deliver. So for healthy masculine empowered men, it's always about action, whereas for toxic wounded masculine energy men, it's always about words. And what's interesting to note is that these words can go either side, right? So one day you have these really exorbitant promises, and then just 2 days later, when the mood is not right, it can flip into, you know, you're such a this and this, and you know, you don't love me, and you just stand there and you wonder, oh my God, what happened? Is this another person? Did he just flip or what? These are all signs of emotional immaturity, trying to connect too quickly with the woman in question, and then when she doesn't do what you want her to do, then she becomes the bad person. So this is a classic sign of toxic masculine energy. So quality number 4 of masculine energy is that it tries to control you. Control is a big term, right, inside of romantic relationships, and women controlling men is of course as unhealthy as men controlling women, because inside a relationship nobody should be controlling the other party, and there should just be a natural free-flowing exchange and conversation around boundaries and what works for me and what works for you, and then both people working on that as a team. In case of toxic masculine energy men, one of the biggest qualities they show is that they hyper control what you dress, how you eat, what your weight is like, which friends are good for you, which friends are not good for you. And there's this whole level of toxic control inside it, and I used to think that that can never happen to my high achieving empowered clients, but ladies, I can tell you from my experience, there are so many women who silently suffer different forms of control from toxic masculine men. I've even had a client whose partner took away her entire business and started separating her from her friends and from the people she loved, and isolated her to the point where she was like, what kind of life do I have here, you know? And being controlled by a man is one of the most horrible things that can happen to a woman, because it completely robs you of your freedom, of your power to make your own choices, which is all supremely important when it comes to women's empowerment inside romantic relationships. All right, last but not the least, number 5 sign of toxic masculine energy is that these men are emotionally immature, easily triggered, and easily angered. So this is a sign of toxic masculinity. It's when men have not learned to manage their emotions, and they tend to be, very volatile with their emotions, and they tend to have a lot of temper. Lines are crossed and boundaries are crossed. This can be really challenging inside a relationship, because somehow when the fuse goes off and when he gets angry and he has no hold over his emotions, he can totally fly off the handle, threatening your emotional safety, your mental safety, your physical safety. Okay, so this is something we all want to watch out for. This is why it's so important inside of dating. My program Leap into Love, I tell my clients again and again, take it slow, get to know the person in different situations and different circumstances. Get to see how he treats the waiters, get to see how he treats those people that don't have enough, right? So it's so important to really get to know men in different settings and different environments with different people, to see how they manage anger, to see how they manage tough situations, difficult situations, to see how they manage when you don't do what they want you to do, when you make your own choices and want to be the master of your own life, which every diva should. So again, very similar to love bombing, take your time, my dear ladies. There should be no rush in dating. There should be all the time you need to evaluate the man, all the time you need to get to know that he's the right fit for you, the right match for you, because it's not just about getting a relationship with a man. It's about attracting and having and creating a truly aligned relationship, a relationship that is adding value to your life, that enhances your life. And I think when it comes to recognizing these red flags in men, you really want to see, is it a pattern? Because patterns are problematic, right? But if something happens once in a blue moon, he says, I don't like that dress on you, do you want to try the other dress? That's okay, right? But what we don't want is patterns. We don't want a repetition of these qualities very often in the way a man is engaging with you. I wanted to make sure I say this before I finish this video, because it's so easy to judge men as wounded masculine men. But I think when you understand the nuances of masculine energy, feminine energy, wounded masculine, wounded feminine, empowered masculine, empowered feminine, which is what I teach you inside my programs, then you understand that it's not so white and black, right? It's about really using your intuition in the moment and asking yourself, okay, is this a one-time thing that he's doing? or is this like something he does very often? I have made another video about that, how to recognize empowered masculine energy inside men. You want to click on the thumbnail to check it out. And before you leave, of course, if the content was helpful and gave you breakthroughs, I'd love for you to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel. It means the world to me. Thank you for listening. Until next time.